Hey guys, how you doing? We're on the challenge All-Stars season 3, episode 3. All right. Last time we had the winners were yes for the men, and for the ladies it was Kendall. All right. I didn't remember that last time. I didn't even remember she won. I thought it was John A, but it was in fact Kendall who won. I believe who went home. Melinda. I think Melinda went home because her foot was hurt, and Letarian got sent out by Mark. All right. So that was that. All right. So the ones with the power to sabotage is yes and Kendall for this episode. And I believe everyone that participates in the elimination gains stars. So Tina was in the last one, which means she now has an extra star attached to her because by default, because Melinda kind of went out because of her sprained ankle from last season. And I just said his name. And Mark has an extra star as well. We don't know what the stars mean yet, but everyone that participates in elimination gains a star. All right, it's that. So now we have some alliances forming in the house, but it's mostly like a competitive thing. Wes is trying to get rid of Jordan because he thinks Jordan is his biggest competition. Yes doesn't like the way Wes plays the game because Yes is in this whole hippie honor bullshit, and I don't know what's going on with him. He's just weird, but it works for him because no one targets him, and that's how he was able to win the first season. Or was it the second? I think he won the second season. No, he won the first. Sorry, he did win the first. The second season was MJ and John A that won that. All right. To this one, and there was a whole scene with Cyrus where he was just kind of coughing. He was coughing up a storm, and he's talking about being in the best shape that he's been in a long time at 50. And they're talking about how he used to play D1 basketball in college, which probably means if they're giving his backstory, he's going into elimination, like foreshadowing. There's an alliance between John A and MJ because they won together in the last season, and now they kind of build that bond, and now they want to work together. Kellyanne and I just said her name, Kendall. Kellyanne and Kendall are friends. They're working together, and they're talking about Kendall was talking about wanting to use the money to invest in Kellyanne's business, which is like an animal sanctuary for dogs or some ridiculous that makes no money. She might as well just be throwing money away to a charity because she's never going to see anything back on that investment. But hey, some people think with their feelings. So there you have that. I think that was it for like the foreshadowing of what's going to happen. So let's get to the first. Oh, right. There was a stage where Yes had a conversation with Wes. He was talking to him about how he would feel if he used the sabotage on him and something like that. And Wes just tried to make a deal and say, I would rather you not use the sabotage on me. And it was like a lightly veiled threat. And Yes didn't like that. Yeah, so that was that for that. Kellyanne didn't know what to do with the sabotage. It's a weird dynamic where most of the girls in the house are in one alliance. Kellyanne and Kendall is not in that alliance. They're pretty much by themselves doing yoga all the time, and they're two of the skinniest girls in the house. So how that high school dynamic works. And yeah, and you have John A who's out working with MJ, so they're kind of separate. So there's like a whole room full of girls that are all kind of banding together and forming an alliance. So just from that dynamic, the two separate groups of John A and Kendall and Kellyanne, they're going to get targeted by that larger group. Okay, so the challenge is some sort of race in a mud pit. All right, I'll show you a picture. All right, this is what it looks like. You can see there are a bunch of balls over there, and the players have to race through the mud pit, get a ball. I believe they start out the first round. There's 10 players, 9 balls. All right, the person that doesn't get a ball on the first round goes into elimination. And then the second round is 9 people, 5 balls. All right, and then the third round, I believe, is 5 people, 3 balls. All right, and the 3, it's going to determine who goes into the council to decide who goes in to face the person that goes into elimination. All right, so let's do that. All right, the first round. Oh, right. The sabotage was that they get to put a 35-pound weight vest on the player that they choose to sabotage. Yes chose to sabotage Wes, and Kendall decided to sabotage MJ, who's in alliance with John A, which doesn't make sense because they're like the 3 girls that are outside that big girls alliance. Like, to do that, you're just making more enemies on top of the enemies that you already had. So it was kind of stupid. So now she has John A against her, and she has all those other girls against her. So they get to the competition, and the first round was the girls, and Sylvia, like most of those girls were helping. Sylvia and Kayla was kind of helping each other out, passing balls to each other and stuff like that to help each other get through. And Kellyanne and Kendall was kind of getting boxed out a little bit. Kellyanne was able to get through for the first round, but Kendall was stuck back there wrestling with Veronica. But in the end, she was able to get through that round. She beat Veronica, making Veronica go into elimination. Then for the second round, all the girls kind of ganged up on her, and she ended up getting eliminated. For the third round, Kellyanne got eliminated the same way. All the girls kind of ganged up on her, so they both kind of get eliminated. And the final 3, I believe, I don't really remember. Let's just get to the guys. All right, for the guys, there wasn't really an alliance working against each other. The fastest one out the gate was Brad. He was freaking rushing through that. He was getting the ball and freaking dashing back. He crushed that competition. MJ had that 35-pound weight vest, and he has a bad knee, so he wasn't doing much running through that mud. He pretty much collapsed right away, and he just kind of laid there and wait to try to wrestle somebody. But in the end, he couldn't get anyone. Everyone just kind of ran past him. Cyrus actually did pretty good in this one. He was kind of crushing it. I think he made it all the way to the third. It was the third round. It was pretty good. I think the only standouts was Yes, and Yes was pretty good in this one. Because it's pretty much about speed, and he was wrestling too, but it was pretty much about speed. He got into a whole thing with Nehemiah where they were wrestling each other, and Nehemiah didn't like the way he was wrestling with him, and he threatened to fight him or something like that. Yeah, I don't know. I'm trying to think of who was really good. Jordan, yes, Jordan was pretty good in this one. With freaking one hand to grip the ball too, freaking crushed it. So it was Jordan, Brad was pretty good. I can't remember who the third person was. All right, so we're eventually gonna figure it out. All right, so the one going in is MJ and Veronica. Those are the two losers for this competition. All right. MJ and John A kind of confronted Kendall for, putting the weight vest on MJ, and she didn't really know what to say. She was like, oh, she was really indecisive and she didn't know how to put it on. And her reasoning was that MJ is a big guy, so the weight wouldn't affect him much. It doesn't make sense. Like, she doesn't read the room. Like, you have a whole alliance that is against you and you're competing against girls. Put the weight vest on one of the girls so it helps you. I don't know. I don't know what the hell she's doing with a game. All right. Wes was going around trying to get Yes thrown in to the elimination against MJ. MJ wanted Cyrus thrown in because he thought Cyrus would be the easiest person for him to compete against. Right. All right. And oh, right. Tina, who won the last elimination by default, got removed because she broke her hand during the competition. So, oops, let me see if I can get a picture of it. Oh. Yeah, that'll do. All right, as you can see right there, she has the cast on her hand and she's saying goodbye to everybody. So she's gone, which not big of a loss. I mean, she wasn't really doing that well. She's in terrible shape. She wasn't doing that well last season when she gave up when she got into elimination. This season, she won 2 eliminations, one by actually competing and the other one by default. But she's really not in great shape. Like, if anyone that goes to a final with her, it's pretty much going to lose. Just like what happened with Tech and Ayana from last season. Yana was in terrible shape. She was crushing eliminations, but go to final and she quit. And Tech got sent home because of it. So yeah, if I was playing, I would eliminate the out of shape women like right away, because eventually you're going to end up partnering with them, and it's not good to have them in a final. It's just not. It's going to be an endurance, no matter what the individual competition is. It's going to be endurance, and you're going to need them to actually be able to go through it. Which is good to have Kellyanne and a Kendall in that game, because although they're thinner girls, they have the endurance. They might not be able to throw some weight around and crush somebody in a physical competition, but when you really need them for endurance, that's where they really come in, and that's how you really get the win. But so he is oh, right. The council is Jordan. Let me just show pictures of them. Got Brad and John A. All right, Jordan and Brad, one of the guys, and John A right there. Who else? Ooh. Sylvia. Oh, that's right. I remember now. Sylvia and the other girl kind of helped each other out. So they end up getting, because they're part of that bigger girls alliance, they end up getting there into the council. So you got Sylvia and you got Derek. That's right. Derek was pretty fast too. I think he was like the first one to get to the ball. Yeah, he was freaking whipping through that. Yeah, right. You got Jordan. What's the last girl's name? Kayla? I believe it's Kayla. Yeah. Yeah, Kayla. Her and Sylvia was helping each other out, so they ended up getting in the council. So you got Kayla, Sylvia, and John A. And for the guys, you got Derek, Derek, Jordan, and Brad. All right. Brad is doing pretty good. He's the only downside with Brad is that he's terrible at puzzles. So, but he's still pretty strong now. Right, so that's, and they were deciding back and forth what to do. They didn't want to give Wes what he wanted, which was yes thrown in. They also didn't want to really give MJ what he wanted, which was Cyrus. But in the end, they still decided to go with Cyrus because they couldn't really decide. And most of the people were in the same alliance, which is Derek and Sylvia and Kayla. They're in the same alliance. Derek is in the room with a bunch of those ladies that are all in the same alliance, like Sylvia and Kayla. So they all kind of voted the same way, which was to send in Cyrus. I don't know why. Why Cyrus? Why wouldn't they target a stronger guy? But yeah, that's how I went. Send in Cyrus. I guess they just didn't want to rock the boat and just wanted to give MJ what he wanted. Ooh, and there was another thing where Jemmy, I think that's her name. Her mom called her and let her know that her dad was sick, and she was trying to figure out whether or not she should come home, and her mom told her it's up to her. So in the end, she decided to go home. So that's 2 girls removed, one for medical reason, one for personal reasons. All right. I'll show you a little. All right, there's Jemmy, finalist. She never won anything, so it's not a big loss. And oh, I didn't know Cyrus was a champ. One. Damn, you know what? I've been sleeping on him. I think he was one of the first ones to win. Cyrus, one-time champ, played in 2001. Yeah, I guess he did win. Good on you, Cyrus. I know he's always wearing a hat. He's bald as hell. He's been bald for a long time. Like 21 years ago, it was bald. Come to the elimination competition. And of course, the girls no longer have to go in, which was Kendall and Veronica, because 2 girls were eliminated. So it just became down to the guys, MJ and Cyrus. Okay, so the competition is called Wait Up. So, show you a picture. All right, so they're going to start in a cage with a bunch of sandbags. All right. They have to throw the sandbags into a crate hanging on the outside of the cage and fill up the crates, which will then fall down and lift up this little wall blocking that side of the cage. And after that, when the wall is lifted up, then they'll have to punch through that drywall right here with a hammer, crawl through it, and then ring the bell on the outside of the cage. Right? That's what you do to win. All right. Competition started. It was all right, except Cyrus was missing a lot of the sandbags. I think it's because he's smaller and the sandbags are kind of heavy. He was missing a lot of them. I don't think MJ missed any of them. See, right there, Cyrus missed his first shot. and he's going to miss a bunch of them afterwards because the thing keeps swinging back and forth, and he's not timing it. While as MJ is taking careful shots and he's timing it, he's just tossing the bags up as fast as he can. So they're going back and forth. MJ was able to get his wall up first, and he started trying to punch through, but he was like knocking on the sides for some reason. And then a little after him, Cyrus was able to get his wall up, and he started punching right through the middle of the wall very quickly. So I was like, holy shit, that freaking MJ's about to lose because he's taking so much time trying to cut a perfect hole out of the wall. See right here, how he's just punching on the sides. And I think he's a contractor as well. So this is like work that he does. So that's probably why he's taking a careful aim like that, as opposed to Cyrus, who's just knocking straight through the middle of the wall. If it was me, the first little hole that I made, I would have freaking dived through it, especially because Cyrus is smaller. So he needs a smaller hole. But for some reason, they kept punching at the wall instead of diving through it. And MJ was able to cut a bigger hole and able to dive through, and he was able to win. Cyrus, he had a perfect hole already, but he kept trying to widen it. Like you can see right here, he already has a pretty decent hole that he can get through, but instead of getting through it, he's still hitting the wall and the sides trying to make a bigger hole. Like he had this one. But in the end, MJ got out there and he was eliminated. I mean, sad to see him go. He's starting to perform finally. Well, he kind of did in the elimination, but he was against Tyler, who was fat and exhausted. But damn, it's sad to see him go, man. Yes, I don't think in any season that he's played has ever been in an elimination. But I think if he wasn't this one, he would have won. He would have definitely won this one. Just Yes is in better shape. He's faster and he's smaller. So he definitely would have won that. No problem. Size didn't matter in this one. MJ only won because he was just more careful and he took better shots and he was able to lift that wall first. But hey, sad to see him go, but it is what it is. I believe because so many people were eliminated so early on, they're probably going to have replacements, especially more people get injured later on in the game. Their older age, a lot of people are probably going to get injured. They're going to have some more replacements. And I'm hoping to see CT come, because even on regular challenge, CT is crushing it. I think he's like 5-time champ right now. I don't think anyone has won more than him at this point. Did Johnny? No, Johnny Bananas only did like 3. I think he only won 3. But yeah, hopefully one of the guys got injured and CT gets to come in. That would be freaking amazing. So till next time.